Hello there, Leo. Welcome back to Misfits of the Zodiac. My name is Ace. I'm doing a winter solstice reading for you guys. So basically what that is we're about to hit the winter solstice, which is the longest night of the year. It's right around the 21st of December. And it goes for 10 days. If you're celebrating Yule, that is also the night of Yule. And I just kind of felt the call to pull for that time of year. Instead of doing like a December reading this year, I kind of felt called to do more of a winter solstice. So I feel like as I'm starting this pull for you, there is definitely this feeling of needing to not hunker down, but needing to find peace with slowing down. These are a lot of the cards that are coming out have kind of a slow and steady, not rushing things, not pushing things. I know it's really hard this time of year to find time to slow down sometimes. A lot of us have a lot on our plate and we're trying to like wrap up anything that we feel like needs to happen before the end of the year. But I feel like you will find those moments that kind of help you stay grounded and not, my brain said get in your own way, but I feel like it's more you needing to find, you're finding time to slow down, to kind of savor this time of year instead of maybe previous years you've rushed through it, or you've been so busy that you haven't been able to like settle into it and enjoy it. And I feel like either you're finding a way to do that, or the energy or your guides are asking you to find that slow and steady movement, because you will appreciate it that much more. You'll be able to really hone in on the joy and the enjoyment of the season and not be feeling like spread too thin. Okay, so you start with the Ace of Pentacles. I feel like on or around the beginning of the solstice, which again is around December 20th, you could be receiving some news. This is very, again, earthy energy, very grounded energy. In this particular deck, this is usually talking about January, February, March timing. So you could be receiving some sort of extra money on or around that time. This is for the winter solstice, but it's leaning into winter. It's kind of kicking off winter. So that could be the timing for you, or it could be on or around the actual solstice. There is some sort of extra that's coming in, and it could very well be monetary. So pay attention to that. I feel like this is going to help you kind of ease into that feeling of slowing down and enjoying yourself, and not feeling like frantic, like you have to finish everything before the end of the year. I know a lot of us kind of get into this mindset that we have to like set ourselves up for a clean slate, and while that is good, if it's stressing you out, it's not going to help. And I feel like this little bit of extra is going to allow you to enjoy the simpler things in life and not have to like feel the need to fill the space, if that makes sense, or feel the need to work super hard to receive. You will already have received, basically not doing nothing, but just kind of being at a slower pace, and you'll be seeing like, oh, I don't need to rush around. I don't need to be all over the place at once. And I'm still receiving. There's still abundance coming in, if that makes sense. Okay. So I think that's a great way to start your reading. The next card that you got is the Standing Stone. So this is usually talking about you needing to, again, slow down. In this particular depiction, there's this tiny little spider down here, okay? And it's weaving a web. I feel inclined to talk about your community and what you have slowly built through this year. I feel like there could be this Ace of Pentacles, this extra money or extra gift that's coming in, could be from your community. It could be from you kind of setting the web and creating the web, and now you're receiving through that. So obviously with a spider, they build a web so that they can catch their food. This feels very much like through your community that you've built, there's going to be some sort of extra that's coming through as a result. And I feel like this card is asking for you to do nothing. You've done everything that you need to do. So again, if there is some sort of decision that you feel like you need to make, or if there's some sort of like project that you want to finish, you can do that, but don't rush yourself. Take your time with it, because sometimes this is asking for you to not rush through something and maybe sit with it for just a little bit longer so that you can really gather all the information that you need to make a good decision. And I feel like maybe leaning on your community to ask for help could be also beneficial with this card. So keep that in mind if you're feeling the need to like push through something. So the next card that you got is the High Priest. I feel very inclined to talk about the sun in this card. So when the winter solstice comes, it's basically the longest night of the year. So from that point forward, we have the sun coming back, okay? And every day past that point, the days will start to get longer and longer until we hit the summer solstice. So this feels very much like a renewal. I don't always get that from this card, but I feel that you're going to feel refreshed around the winter solstice this year. You're going to feel a sense of, I think because you're going at a slower pace and you're not rushing yourself, and you're taking time to slow down and to savor everything, there will be this sense of like renewed, I don't know, peace within yourself, and a sense of like, you know that feeling when you go out into the sun and you like look up into the sun and you close your eyes and it's on your face and you just feel the warmth of the sun? I'm getting that feeling. So I feel like this pause or this break is going to give you that sense of peace and a sense of almost like a healing that needs to happen. I know for many of us, we've been through some crazy stuff this year. So I feel like this is a very healing card. And again, I don't always get that from this, but that is the vibe that I'm getting from this card. So paying attention to anything that needs healing, paying attention to maybe getting outside and taking some breaks and getting out into the sun to kind of feel that sense of renewal could be really beneficial. I think it's interesting that the next card that you have is the moon. So a lot of the times the moon is talking about something being brought to light. So I feel that as a result of you slowing down and taking your time, there could be something that you've been trying to understand, or something that some sort of information that you've been trying to gather, but it's just been like not coming to you for whatever reason. I feel like on or around the solstice, you're going to receive that information. That could be this Ace of Pentacles that's coming in, this extra gift or whatever. It could be some information or some sort of answer to a question that you've had for a long time that the answer's been escaping you. And I feel like this is going to kind of propel you into the next year, if that makes sense. So be mindful of that, because I think that if you are able to slow down and be present, the information will come to you fairly easily, and it's going to be kind of shocking because it's been eluding you this whole time, and then out of nowhere it just like it comes to you. The next card that you have is the King of Cups. So this is all about emotional stability. This is a sense of enjoyment. This could be you spending time with, I know around this time of year we spend a lot of time with family and friends. This could be just that feeling that you get when you're around loved ones that you really care about, and there's a sense of camaraderie and a sense of sharing the wealth, sharing the abundance, and enjoying good food and good times. I feel that, again, as a result of you finding times to slow down and be present in this, you're going to be able to enjoy this a lot more, if that makes sense. The next card that you have is the Queen of Athames. Again, with this clarity, I feel like this kind of goes hand in hand with the moon energy. There's some sort of clarity that's going to come in, that's going to allow you to make a judgment call that's going to be beneficial for your very near future. You could be also getting very clear about what you have accomplished this year and what you would like to then accomplish next year, what didn't get finished or what didn't get attention. Checking in with yourself and seeing, why didn't it get attention? Was it because I just didn't have time, or is it because it's not relevant anymore? And if it's not relevant anymore, kind of cutting that out. That's the feeling that I get with this card. So, and that's okay. Sometimes it doesn't work out for a reason, because it's not really meant for us, or we put too much on our plate for the entire year and then realize we just didn't have enough time for everything. And by the time you do get to it, it's not relevant anymore. That's okay. Sometimes we need to mourn the loss of that, but a lot more often than not, it's just a sign that if it wasn't important enough to start working on it this year, then maybe it's not important. Dare I say? So I feel like that's also going to help with this next card. So the next card you got is the Seven of Pentacles. This is talking about literally you're on the precipice of finishing something. And I'm not talking about little projects. This is a big project. There's something very specific that you focused on this year, that there's this feeling again of like, the year's wrapping up, so I need to wrap this thing up. I don't think that that's a bad feeling to have. I don't think that that's a bad goal to try to achieve. What this card is trying to say, though, is to not rush, because you've worked really, really hard so far, and you've gotten this project to a point where it's so close to being finished, and now all it needs is just a little extra oomph and a little extra attention to detail. But it's a sense that if you're not careful, you may rush through the tail end of this project and kind of ruin it. Does that make sense? So, sometimes when we're working really hard on a long-term project and then we're getting to the end, we're so kind of burnt out that we just want to get it done. We just want to get it over with. But the problem with that is, we sometimes may rush through the end and then lose sight of the quality of what we're creating. So again, this feeling of slowing down, there's some sort of benefit to you taking your time that I feel like is very apparent in this. And I feel like the energy is telling you you're still going to have the abundance come in. It's not going to negatively affect you that you're taking your time with this. So take your time if you need to, okay? Your next card is the Ten of Pentacles. This is all about stability. This is about you being with multiple generations if you are spending time with family and friends. This is also just feeling like a sense of a legacy that you're leaving behind, or a sense of legacy that you're building up to. And I feel like you've worked really, really hard this year, and you're seeing the fruits of that labor that you've put in. And if you are able to, again, be present and sit with it, you're going to benefit a lot from engaging with the energy of your achievement, if that makes sense. A lot of the times we, as humans, just rush through that part of it. Like, this whole time we're chasing a dream, we're chasing a goal, we're going after it, and we're continuously working on it, and we stay focused on it. And then when we actually cross the finish line, it's kind of this energy of on to the next. This is asking for you to, I feel like it's saying, kind of rejoice a little bit more. Take more time to sit with the fact that you accomplished it. Sit with the fact that even if it's not completely finished, how far you've come. It's going to give you the energy to kind of get to the finish line and not rush through the tail end of a project, or the tail end of a couple of different projects. Okay, so just be mindful of that. The next card that you have is the Ten of Athmes. This is talking about something in your life is dead, done, and over with. And this could be, again, going back to the Queen of Athmes, you cutting something out that it could be a little challenging. It could be a little hard to let go, but it's going to be beneficial for your future. I feel like instead of holding on to it, you are going to let it go. And, you know, you can take time to grieve the loss of that thing. Maybe it is these other goals that you set out to achieve that you just didn't get to this year. Taking some time to analyze that and figure out why you did or why you didn't finish those goals could really bring to light, like we were talking about with the moon, really bring to light what didn't work or what really wasn't meant to be, and then letting that go and not letting it take any more of your time because it's not meant for you, if that makes sense. The next card kind of backs up what I'm saying. The Knight of Athmes. So this is usually someone who comes in like gangbusters and they're just trying to, like, again, rush through something. Sorry about that. That was for work. So this is, again, talking about someone who is trying to, like, rush to the finish line, rush to a conclusion. And this is asking, again, I keep getting that feeling of, like, don't rush, to slow down. You don't want to make a mistake. Sometimes this energy is saying that if you rush through it, there could be some sort of consequence. So be mindful of that. As if we haven't said it, I keep saying it over and over again. Taking time to slow down, taking time to think things through, and allowing the information to come to fruition when it needs to is going to be very beneficial. So let's try not to rush through stuff. I think it's also interesting that I got that interruption, because I kind of feel like there could, this energy could be something or someone trying to interrupt your time, or trying to refocus your frame so that you can focus on what they think is important, and you kind of lose sight of your own focus, what you want to be working on, if that makes sense. So be mindful of that as well. And I feel like that's kind of backed up with this one. The last card that you got before your Oracle card is the Holly King. It's kind of cool that you got that for this time of year, because he's all about the solstice, actually. This is talking about inner wisdom and following your own trajectory, following your own path, forging your own path. You could be an entrepreneur. You could just be someone who is very independent-minded and independent thinker, and this is reminding you to come back to that. This is usually the Hermit card. Again, you have this a lot of like getting grounded, slowing down, energy, because I feel like if you are not in that present mind, there's something that you could miss, and that could be this energy of like missing something because you're rushing through something. So I feel like if you can take the time to slow down, I know that's sometimes really hard this time of year, you're going to be able to see some sort of wisdom, some sort of very important information needs to come through, and it's probably only going to be able to be taken in properly if you are able to slow down enough to not only recognize it, but like work through the energy, if that makes sense. Work through the information and really sit with it. So your last card that you got is the Oracle card, and that is all about bear medicine. So this says, there is no tomorrow without the healing of the past, for in stillness you shall find yourself right where you are. I feel like this is the perfect card to sum everything up that we've been talking about, right? This is talking about stillness. It's talking about hibernation. It's talking about gathering up all the necessities that you need so that you can really take in the medicine of the season, which is about slowing down. In old times, we used to take this time to be still, let things gestate. Summer and spring are all about the rushing around and doing all of the things, and fall is allowing things to like fall away. But by the time we get to winter, it's about stillness, it's about solitude, it's about sitting in this, being able to feel comfortable with allowing things to percolate and not feeling this like need to do anything, which is really hard because everyone around you and everything around you is telling you go, 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 go. But this is asking for you to slow down. More than anything else in this reading, if you got nothing else, I think the main thing is healing and taking some time for stillness. If you can pull those two things out, whether it's 5 minutes a day, a couple hours a day, if that's possible, you will benefit more than anything else in the winter solstice season. So anything leading into winter, this is asking for you to slow down as much as possible, because I feel like if you don't, there's a possibility that you could regret later on not being as present as you could have because you were rushing around a lot. And I feel like that's probably more of a collective feel that everyone could probably benefit from, but you in particular, I feel like are going to benefit the most from that. So I hope this was beneficial to you. If this resonated in any way, if you enjoyed this reading, I would love to get a like, share, subscribe, and have you come back as a misfit. And I will see you guys in the new year if I don't come up with any other fun little tarot pulls to do before the end of the year. But I got to get through these first, so we'll see. All right. I will talk to you guys soon. Bye.